Hello guys and welcome to another legendary stream right here on Twitch and YouTube. Funda, congratulations on being first on Twitch. Robert, welcome in on YouTube. MT, welcome in. Dogmaster, welcome in. Hope you all are doing absolutely freaking fantastic on this beautiful Friday. It is so sunny. I decided to keep my hair messy because it might look cool. I don't know. Anyways, I hope you're all doing fantastic. Slight little hiccup right before the stream. My stupid stream deck / loop deck doesn't allow me to connect my Spotify anymore. The URL request thing constantly fails. So I currently have no automated way of like controlling a Spotify audio, which really pisses me off right now. And I would love to just have the control again. I don't understand. I log in, everything works perfectly, and on the last step it just says like unknown URL, whatever. And it does say the Spotify plugin has like an update, but every single time I've tried to do the update, it broke everything. This shit is so garbage. This shit is actually so garbage. It's actually so garbage. The one time where I decided to like go with more of a no-name brand instead of like the Stream Deck that you guys all probably heard of more. The one time I go with a no-name brand, I've just regretted it so much. It's actually insane. Anyways, I'm talking about my like stupid loop deck thingy, that little thing, and it's so like it's just bad. It's actually, I don't know who is maintaining it, but basically I have refrained from doing updates ever because they break everything. I've had to redo my entire stream setup just because it broke something, and then it was worse. Like the update didn't even provide more features, it actually broke things. Like for example, if I switch scenes, I used to have, you know, the small face cam, and if I transition to the big face cam, notice how the camera angle changes at the very end. Okay, on the smaller one it works kind of good, but as soon as the face cam is big, that's when the camera angle changes. It is so bad. And before the last update, I was able to set that cut like in between the animation. It's not possible anymore. So one of those like smooth transitions I have now is just like gone. Well, it has been for 2 years now, but that's why I've never been updating it. And I feel like the reason that's breaking now is because of the update. It's so bad. It's so bad. It's so bad. Okay, I have 5 more advancements. The most thing I want to say how to get here is a complete catalog. Do you recommend making a cat farm? Happening 5 winners, bet can do one. No, well, assuming you have an elytra, I recommend just flying around. Look for villages, and if you get a swamp, you'll have a witch hut, which will give you the black cat. Or if you load a village, so you explore, and a village comes into render while it's full moon, so like it's like the day and the night cycle. If it's full moon, you can also get a black cat. So by just flying around, you can get lucky and get a black cat in a village as well. XL, welcome in. Spinny Joel! And otherwise, just fly around. There's no reason to make a cat farm unless you're playing like 1.12 or something. Because there's one version where the Chelly cat doesn't naturally generate, and you'll have to set up an artificial village. But assuming you're playing the newest version, you will have no need for cat farm ever. Okay. Is it 1.12? Is it 1.11? I don't freaking know. One version specifically has the Chelly cat bugged. Yeah. Oh, it's 1.15. Okay, bro, sorry. Are we insane? No, I've just never touched any of those versions, okay? I've just never touched any of those versions. Sorry. Not that it matters anyways, because it's like, we're not playing that version. It's 1.15, that makes sense. Thank you. So I have no idea how to fix my loop deck thing, and it's pissing me off. Actually, it's actually pissing me off like crazy right now. So I'm gonna try it one more time. Sign into Spotify. Accounts login. Come on. Welcome back. Then I put in the freaking code that I get via email. I've done this 3 freaking times already. And then redirect URI not matching configuration. Like, what do you mean? Oh my god, this is so annoying. So every time I want to control Spotify audio, I have to tab out now. I am losing it. Just being able to adjust Spotify audio without tabbing out is like such a big deal for me. Ugh. I need more on my left screen now. It's not like completely full already. Combined chat didn't really solve that much. That's so annoying. Plus, I don't see what audio volume I'm at. Because usually I have it around like 28 to 30. But if I do this manually, I just don't know. Golkin, welcome in! It's so perfect today, because yeah, I mean, it's kind of bright outside still. It's this nice mix of natural and artificial light. So update available. This is a problem. I cannot update. I swear to God, then my next investment is gonna be a proper Stream Deck. I actually do not care. I'm just gonna get one of those small ones. Does a Stream Deck have the freaking turning knobs for some audio control? Because that was probably one of the main reasons why I didn't get it. I quickly need to check that. Stream Deck. Because I'm tweaking out. This thing is... No, because it does... Oh, it does. I could make it work. Okay, whatever. That might be my next bigger investment. I don't know. Anyways, hope you all are doing absolutely fantastic. I really apologize for hacking the mainframe, but Advancedly released a massive new update. And again, this goes out to you, Robert. If you're still here, I can highly recommend looking at my tracker. And I really need to make this devlog because firewall's overwritten. I really need to make this devlog because it's actually a massive deal with the new overlay update. I'm gonna try and again keep this as brief as possible, but this update needs some explanation. This update needs some explanation, and I wanted to put, as I did it with the last devlog, I'm going to put this video now into the release notes here. So yeah, massive donation from Diggity Ding Dong. It's just such a great name. Beautiful stuff. And we have this new overlay mode. So let me open that up. And I want to quickly touch upon a few things, kind of in order here, and kind of explain. Oh, I'm quickly going to restart the whole thing. Kind of explain what is new in this. There are obviously many new templates that Scrambled made. We even have a 1.18 and 1.19 template now. So really just 1.20 missing, and then pretty much every version range is covered, which is insane. I never thought I would get to that point because I wouldn't be doing the freaking, what's it called, templates, and I was hoping on community members doing that, and it's really working out right now. Is that a rack mounted Stream Deck? Wait, is it really? What? that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, I would need like at least 2 knobs. This is overkill. But I need a Stream Deck that has a couple audio knobs for quick adjustment. Better Senna is using that? Maybe. I would see the convenience. I would certainly see the convenience. So, very briefly, the new overlay mode is called the compact mode, or just compact, and it basically divides into 3 parts. You have this optional row 1 icons, which is nice for the stream, so you can still see the individual parts of like substats and advancements. So like wolves, I intentionally put the freaking Badlands wolf in here, because, well, why not? I just put some like new version stuff missing. Yeah, we have the good old striped in there. And basically we have the first row, we have the panel, which has individual control over, well, the first row, first of all, has like individual control over size, horizontal spacing, vertical spacing between this, like the icon of the panel. Then you have a lot of control in the panel with different font sizes here. different font size, different fonts, padding around. You can even like completely change the background. I'm going to show that as well because it's insane. And then obviously you have a lot of control over how fast the animation is at the bottom. This is the stack. So we have the icons, the panel, and the stack. And items can hold down here up to 15 minutes. And you can obviously have, like, the window size, the overlay window size adjusts perfectly for what you need to fit everything. So you never have anything go out of bounds. And you can obviously make the stack bigger. Default is like 6. And you can adjust the animation duration the whole time, which by default is 1 minute. Stays here and then just disappears. Unfortunately, there's no really like vanishing animation. This was really, really hard to do. And then let's dive in. So obviously you can support advancedly, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to quickly have a 1.16 instance, I guess, open. Bop is a bop. That is true. That is true. So yeah, this was quite a long process because obviously I had Zesskyo, the main inspiration for this overlay mode, even mentioned here, inspired by Zesskyo. So Zesskyo's name is fully mentioned in the tracker for freaking ever, hard coded, which is pretty goddamn crazy. And essentially, you can see it already. The Advancedly promo text kind of shows up here, but as soon as something, some kind of advancement is completed, I don't know if I've granted myself everything here. No. Only, I'll just do our ballistic. As soon as an advancement shows up, the promo text kind of disappears. That way it's way cleaner. And now you can see there's a lot of configuration. Also, for every single overlay mode, I now added the option to also show hidden goals. So goals that are not visible on the overlay normally or the automatic layout. So when you uncheck the manual layout, the automatic layout, and any hidden goals get hidden here because the manual layout with goal positioning has a separate hiding. And Agano? What is Agano? That doesn't sound like very Twitch emote-y, whatever. So yeah, you can also show hidden goals. This is just to have even more control. Agano. Ah. Right. Surely there is one. Okay. And the cool thing now is this background is rendered from a new background texture that actually looks pretty funny. I want to show this real quick. I basically made a very tiny pixel art. This is the compact default panel. This is how it looks like. It literally has the bare minimum amount of pixels. You can see these 4 right here are kind of the corner. Then this is what repeats kind of horizontally. This is what repeats vertically, so that the center is kind of the remaining color. Then you have this 2x2 kind of being the corner. This. And speaking of 2x2, so basically, this is kind of a, like, I guess it's like here. It's like a 3x3 grid with just the 2 middle sections. And since I said the outer part was like a 2x2, this is what you configure here as the corner. So theoretically, if I were to browse and say go into GUI and I actually take the other default texture, I could say, I think 4 on each of the corners and restart that. And now you essentially have the same kind of background texture. I think it's 5 actually, because this part is pretty wide. Oh, what is that? There we go. And now you essentially have the Advancedly background texture, but scaled the right way as well. Actually insane. Actually really cool. So you can still have the default look. But I decided to go with what Zesskyo has. And you can also make the pixel scale bigger, and you can see it adjusts based on that. Or you can go like super high resolution, and it will be really sharp. So you can really do whatever. We can also enable to show one row icons. You can see there are a lot of new settings. These settings only show up for the compact mode. Also, if you go into co-op, you will have a player face setting here that essentially, if you are not on all players, it shows the player that you have selected. So see, I selected myself as the progress, and it shows the player face here. Same thing with any advancement that I get. It shows, if I go back to all players, it would then show that I got, oh, this is a hidden advancement, so it doesn't show up right now. Honey block, slide, yeah, you can see sticky. The player head is a little smaller than, like, it's the same size as the text. I think that looks better. So if you're on all players here, the overlay shows which player completes it as well. Super cool. You can obviously configure size and stuff, blah, blah, blah. But going back to the overlay mode, icon size, all of this. Obviously, there's shared icons for like Hoglin, Monsters Hunted, and 2x2, blah, blah, blah. Clear animation, it's the same thing with the first row kind of animating out. Positive values animate from the bottom to top. Blah, blah, blah. You can also do the panel alignment, which also aligns the stack at the bottom. It literally mirrors everything. And then we get to the individual settings here, and there's so much you can do. You can obviously select the first entry, shift-click the second entry, and also select everything there. So multi-select is possible, or you can just select everything. Usually it makes the most sense to just keep advancements at the top there, and just select everything else down here for the stack. So every other goal type triggers an update. So yeah, you can also turn off this, so you can see I like check this off, and there's now an X here because it's been checked off manually. Same for the debris. Also any count would obviously update that. Yeah, I have Hermes in this, so /give ep gold block. I just want to show this as well. I know we're still running co-op, that's fine. And if I pick up the gold blocks, you can also see the progress pops. And since the checkbox is not selected, it just shows this O. If I were to give myself advancement grant, epi, only nether, create full beacon, then, oh, I guess it has to be no player. Oh, because QP doesn't exist. Bam, you can see this now says A because the gold blocks were completed automatically through the other advancement, because you can have a couple goal types, custom goals, stats, and counters, or not counters, custom goals, stats, and I guess, yeah, it's those two that have the automatic completing, and that's why it shows this A. Again, you can turn that off with the so-called completion markers down here, and then if I were to throw gold, it still updates the progress, but that completion marker isn't shown anymore. And also, if you turn this off, the automatic completion wouldn't trigger either. So that is pretty cool, pretty fancy stuff. Obviously, if I just fly around and collect some biomes, this will obviously pop into the stack as well. You can see it updates adventuring time, and everything is mirrored because we're right aligned there. Look at that. Flower forest as well. Some have to register. This is amazing. And obviously, there are plenty of more settings depending on what your template has. Why am I black and white? Why am I black and white? You can also, yeah, just kind of define the stack gap here between the different goals. So I don't know if I select the biome. Yeah, you can see the gap here is a little bigger. Or like it's this gap. The gap here is solely defined by text size. This is label text size, count text size, line spacing, and then the stack text size is the one we're looking at. It makes everything a lot bigger. And you can see the window gets quite wide because it takes into account the longest possible text with all the target values. There's a lot of calculation that goes into making the window size perfect once, and then never having to restart it afterwards. You can also configure all of that, but that is mostly it. And also pressing space, just the last thing I might want to mention real quick. If you have more types selected here, you can see you can also have the amount of advancement criteria, the amount of statistics that are completed, and the amount of multi-stage goal stages that are completed kind of individually as well. What is really neat, if I go and select one of the amazing, obviously I have the template editor open, where the hell I freaking put it? I shoved the template editor into the abyss somewhere. Where are you? Hello? I lost my template editor. Okay, so we're restarting. And basically, we can now say that if we have a counter, for example, and I think that is a nice quick way to show it with the all blocks template, right? Because right here, for the all blocks template, also as a performance improvement, I've added these settings right here. So it's a lot smoother and only renders the checkboxes around here. Essentially, if I now say we go into the overlay mode, compact mode, I can now, as a panel content, you always have to have one selected here. So you select the blocks place counter, then you can deselect this, and you can select up to 1024 things in each of these checkboxes. So 1024 here, 1024 here. But obviously, anything that's stack goal types would be grouped as its own thing, so it doesn't count towards that individually. And now, yeah, you essentially have a single counter that just shows block placed. And I guess for this template specifically, you would then go ahead and just select every single simple stat, 650 selected, matches to all blocks. And then, if I were to go ahead and, well, all blocks is about placing down blocks. So if I go ahead and place down a block, you can see gold block placed, grass block placed. That's essentially how this works. And so this is just perfect for YouTube. It's just perfect for YouTube because it tells you exactly what you want. And obviously, since there's nothing in the first row, you can do the show run row 1 icons. You can remove those. You have that perfectly set up. I think that's mostly it. So the stack it might get a little confusing, but you can very much just try out what this all does. It just perfectly defines what pops. And also, if you deselect any of this, it is not going to pop on progress, but only on completion. By default, everything pops on progress, which is what I just showed here. When you pick up one gold block, it's going to update. If you take out the statistics, for example, then the gold blocks are not going to individually update, but rather only show on completion. So that is the most important thing as well. And as I said, usually you want to have like these all turned on as kind of default and kind of advancements here, and that's it. Pressing spacebar cycles through the modes here. For example, if you go back to the page mode, pressing spacebar here switches that, and if you go back to the scrolling belt, then holding down spacebar speeds up the overlay a little bit. So you have that kind of as a setting everywhere. And obviously the show hidden goals is everywhere. That is something I newly added. Then there are a few more things I did in the template editor that are essentially just allowing you to overwrite existing templates also through imports. And we have a lot of beautiful new templates, as I said, for 1.18 as well. Oh yeah, and you can also see if the advancedly promo text slightly goes out of bounds, it like bounces back and forth like that. So you never run into the issue where anything clips out of bounds. So it's really nice. Right, we have the 1.18, we have 1.19 now, which is completely new. Shoutout scrambled, absolutely amazing. Obviously, I have this setting turned on here, so that's why text is not showing. And we also completely updated, so you have 4 full templates for 26.3 already. Absolutely amazing. I've also, done all the Chinese and German translations for all of these. You can see those. I've also kept on going the default templates that I usually make. Just keeping those alive because they're as bare bones as they can get. Some people might prefer it. And I've added the dappled forest right after the forest. I've also updated the AA tool optimized, so you also have an AA tool optimized version with the dappled forest already, and some nice updated biome textures. So deep dark, lush cave, dripstone, these are actually new textures. I have Yumeko always telling me about the Minecraft wiki updating their textures. So super, super nice and very worth checking out. That is mostly it. I don't think I forgot anything. Thank you guys for listening. That was Advancedly Devlog number 51, and we're done hacking the mainframe. Let's go. Enjoy the Advancedly Overlay update. Number 2, kind of. It's 1.6.1. Just so like the overlay update, kind of. 1.6 was the overlay update, and this is like part 2. I will be taking a break for like a month. I have some big features planned, but I want to lock in on editing. So if nothing critical comes up, I am not going to be editing or working on Advancedly super soon again. All right, let's hop into 007. Because this update is huge. This update is huge, and I will definitely be using this overlay for any speedrun content going forward, because it's just perfect. It's just perfect for YouTube. And you guys will see in the okay, that's cool. In the Floating Islands video, which I've heavily worked on today, I was surprisingly productive. I really made some good progress there. On the Floating Islands video, I will be using just the panel of that new overlay mode as the advancement counter, which just looks so much cleaner. Since I do use the other Advancedly overlay during the run, I didn't bother actually animating the stack below it as well, so like have those items pop up below. But as like kind of an upgraded advancement counter that will be like below the face cam, it's kind of neat. It's really, really nice. And yeah. So